Let's go to Washington now and catch up on Donald Trump. He's addressed Congress for the first time since returning to the White House 6 weeks ago. It's like the State of the Union address, but they don't call it that when it's so early on like this. He talked a lot about his achievements, and there was a party atmosphere. Have a listen to this.
Six weeks ago, I stood beneath the dome of this Capitol and proclaimed the dawn of the golden age of America. From that moment on, it has been nothing but swift and unrelenting action to usher in the greatest and most successful era in the history of our country. We have accomplished more in 43 days than most administrations accomplished in 4 years or 8 years, and we are just getting started.
Yeah, we'll go to some key aspects of that speech, but let me bring in Kosha Gada, Sky News contributor, joining us live from Melbourne. Kosha, first up, just your assessment of this. I mean, this sort of speech and carry-on was just unheard of, really, some time ago, but we're used to it now. This is just classic Donald Trump.
We are used to it, Chris. Great to be with you as always. You know, as you said, normally this does not even happen in the inaugural year of a presidency because it's only a few months or a few weeks in, and they haven't really had a chance to shape their policy agenda. Not this time. We are looking at government at the speed of Trump. He signed 82 executive orders just 43 days in. He's done all sorts of things, from tariffs to discussions of reframing the alliance with Europe and everything in between. So he certainly has no shortage of things to talk about. And he really has this air of victory that he exuded in the inauguration speech that he referenced in his opening line, and that he's going to continue to exude, because we all know what this man had to withstand and go through to have this biggest comeback in political history. So I think that overtone sort of colored the whole speech and was laced throughout it. And you know, he's earned the right to take that victory lap.
Yeah, absolutely. Very much a victory lap in the face of the Democrats in the chamber there. Look, I want to go through some specific aspects. I highlighted Ukraine earlier in the program. So let's go to global economics now and tariffs. And he's pushing forward on tariffs. Here's the president.
April 2nd, reciprocal tariffs kick in. And whatever they tariff us, other countries, we will tariff them. That's reciprocal, back and forth. Whatever they tax us, we will tax them. If they do non-monetary tariffs to keep us out of their market, then we will do non-monetary barriers to keep them out of our market.
Sounds awfully like trade wars, Kosha. That could increase the cost of just about everything and anything for Americans and others around the world. It could also push down the stock market, which is an indice that Donald Trump loves to keep his eye on.
He does love to point to the stock market. It's sort of like an easy artifact, if you will, that you can point to, and it plays well on the stump. But the thing is to keep in mind is his constituency here has really been a complete realignment of the electorate, where it's much more the working class and much more young people with whom he remains incredibly popular, and that was a huge turnaround from last time. Both those, working class and young people, are pretty asset light, so the stock market doesn't actually affect them as much day to day in terms of people that voted for him with their feet and put him in the White House. I'm sure he's aware of that. And in terms of what tariffs are going to do to inflation, look, he's got an economic theory. It is a break from Republican Party orthodoxy of the last half century, and certainly the Democrats as well. He is remaking the party in his image. He loves the tool, the instrument of tariffs. He points to William McKinley, former U.S. president, who really was the king of tariffs, as he calls him, and he seems to really believe in it, that even if there is short-term pain and some of that trickles through into pricing, it will reorient society from a consumer-driven society to a production-driven society and bring back jobs and all of that. That's part of his philosophy, and he is going to wield it, and we'll see what happens.
Well, you know, it's a familiar debate. We all learn about it in history. 150 years ago, it was the protectionists versus the free traders. We thought that debate had been won and lost, but Donald Trump revives it again. I want to have a look at another issue. Now, we thought maybe if you thought the idea of the Greenland territory from Denmark was finished as a strategic asset, Donald Trump's still got his eyes on that. Have a look.
We need Greenland for national security and even international security, and we're working with everybody involved to try and get it. but we need it really for international world security. And I think we're going to get it. One way or the other, we're going to get it.
Well, he essentially wants Greenland to vote to become part of the US, but otherwise he's going to get it, he says. What on earth could he mean?
You know, this is classic Trump, as you said, Chris, for something that started as sort of maybe a whimsical idea, and he did touch on it in 2016-17 a little bit, and it was sort of laughed away and nothing that he pursued, to now it's become a legitimate debate. Parliamentarians from Greenland have weighed in. He sent a delegation over there. And we know that his two weapons of choice that he loves in wielding American might to shape his policies are economic, and the second is security guarantees, and both using them as carrots and sticks. So economically, we just discussed tariffs, which is one thing, but the other thing he loves to do are these deals, these he is a businessman, so these co-investment joint venture funds. The minerals deal with Ukraine is sort of a blueprint for that. It could be something like that, where there's lots of natural resources in Greenland that they don't have the money, Denmark doesn't have the money to develop to the extent that America could, and so let's create some sort of joint fund. And then the second thing is underwriting their security, because right now Denmark is the middleman, and his argument is, you know, Denmark provides security for them, but America provides security to Denmark effectively. Let's cut them out and just do a direct deal where in exchange for that, you in some way become a protectorate of America. It could look like many different things, not necessarily a takeover, but he is pursuing it.
He sure is. We will see. Thanks so much, Kosha. I appreciate it.